And then there were two. How did the remaining winless and undefeated teams manage to hold out against their opponents this week? After last year's complete disaster of a loss against the Raiders, can the Patriots bounce back and get revenge? And the Eagles and Jets had a close game that came down to the wire. See who won a close match that made anyone who didn't see it feel green with envy. All this and more coming up here on Tecmo Rewind. Hello everyone and welcome to Tecmo Rewind. I'm your host Joe, here to bring you all your highlights from around the league. Week 6 has come and gone. And well, some teams really starting to look a lot better than others. This is usually what happens once you get to this point of the year. Some teams are just going to start to stand out more than the other teams. For good and for bad reasons in some cases. But we had some really close games this week, some really good games, and we are going to get you the highlights for each and every one of them. Starting with a rematch from last year that one team really wants to forget about with a game this week. New England Patriots heading down to Vegas to take on the Raiders. Ramondre Stevenson coming back off injury list. They might need him. First quarter, they hand it off to Stevenson. Stevenson is going to fumble the ball, and it's going to get recovered by Nate Hobbs of the Raiders. Very next play, Garoppolo dropping back, then rolls forward to his left and throws for Jacoby Myers on a 32-yard touchdown to make it 7-0. Raiders go up first. However, on the next drive for the Patriots, Mac Jones going to throw for Hunter Henry, the former Charger, who's just going to break a tackle into the end zone, tie it up at 7. Jimmy G on the next drive would get wrapped up and taken down by Marcus Jones. Then he would hand it off to Josh Jacobs, who will fumble it, and Jawan Bentley will recover the ball to end the first quarter. On the second quarter, handoff to Ramondre Stevenson. He punches in from 2 yards out, makes it 14-7 New England. On the ensuing Raiders drive, play action by Garoppolo. He would throw it for Devontae in this case, but he decides to run with it since he's got open room. Unfortunately, bad idea. Fumbles the ball and it's recovered by New England. But Mac Jones would then get sacked by Jerry Tillery on a 7-yard sack. That forced them to rely on Chad Ryland to make a 63-yard field goal. No one can make a 63-yard field goal unless their name is Justin Tucker. So that is unfortunately a miss. It is too short. Dietrich Wise, would get to Jimmy G on a 3-yard sack, and the Patriots would get the ball back. However, on this pass to Hunter Henry, Henry is going to fumble it, and it's going to get recovered by Trayvon Mooring. So that'll give the Raiders another chance before halftime. And later on in the drive, Jimmy G with some man in motion, rolls to his right on the play action, throws for Davante Adams. Davante Adams ties it up at 14, but on the Patriots drive right after, they still have a chance. Ramondre Stevenson breaks 3 tackles in a row. He's going to run for 51 yards. That should give Chad Ryland a 47-yarder to make kick up on the way, but it doinks off the right upright, so he misses it. Jawan Bentley, however, will keep the Raiders from being able to do anything before halftime. Third quarter, man in motion for Jimmy G. Play action, roll to his right. Throw is for Davante Adams on a 43-yard touchdown. So that means the Raiders go up 21-14. On the first drive for the Patriots in the second half, Chandler Jones gets a 7-yard sack. That forces them to rely on Chad Ryland to make a 53-yarder. He doesn't. He's wide left. But on the very next play, Jimmy Garoppolo gets wrapped up, and then he's taken down by Marcus Jones. A 4-yard sack. A couple plays later, Garoppolo dropping back, looking, throws to his right for Adams. Instead, he finds Jabril Peppers, who gets the interception. However, on the very first play of the Patriots drive, Nate Hobbs gets to Mac Jones on a 4-yard sack. They are forced to punt, but on the punt, Zamir White fumbles it. Ramondre Stevenson's going to pick it up, and he's going to take it to about the 14. That will help to set up this 14-yard touchdown run by Mac Jones. Mac, you got to be careful on that. You could get hurt. Raiders would be forced to punt on their next drive, and on the Patriots' next drive, Mac decides to run with it again, and he's going to get the first down. But this is what I tried to warn you about, Mac. A 12-yard run ends in his being injured, so Bailey Zappi is going to have to come in to replace him. A few plays later, Zappi hands it off to Stevenson. Stevenson's going to break a tackle. He's going to get into deep Raiders territory. Can he? Could he? Will he? He's going to break like 3 more tackles make it a fourth, but not a fifth. A 66-yard run, but on the very next play, hand it off to him. 7-yard touchdown run makes it 28-21 Patriots. On the next drive for the Raiders, Garoppolo sacked by Dietrich Weiss, sending him back 8 yards. So they got to go for it on a 4th and 5. Garoppolo, play action, rolls to his right, looks for DeMonte. No, he's going to try and go for Jacoby Myers. And Myers can't get it. It's a turnover on down. Stevenson going to run in from 6 yards out, make it 35-21 Patriots. Josh Jacobs, though, he's not done. He won't give up. He's going to break some tackles. He's going to make this a 44-yard run. That'll help to set up this. Jimmy G, you know this play. Play action, roll to his right, throw for Devontae Adams. It's a touchdown from 27 yards out, 35-28. Raiders go for the onside kick. Unfortunately, they can't get it. Ramondre Stevenson actually secures the onside kick on the hands team. But Zappi will fumble the ball. Raiders are going to pick it up. It's Bilal Nichols, but time is up. Patriots get revenge for last year. 35-28 victory. They go to 3-2. They take on Buffalo next week. Meanwhile, the Raiders, they drop to a measly 1-4, and they have to head to Chicago. Well, the Raiders' new quarterback couldn't quite do anything. How'd their old QB do? Derek Carr and the Saints heading down to Houston to take on the newly revitalized Mike Boone, as well as C.J. Stroud and the Texans. First quarter, Dalton Schultz, 10-yard touchdown, barely in the end zone, 7-0 Texans take the lead. Then Malik Collins going to get to Derek Carr, an 8-yard sack, but they keep driving down the field. Michael Thomas going to get a 10-yard touchdown catch from Carr, ties it up at 7. Later on, Stroud going to get taken down by Nathan Shepard, an 8-yard sack. Keep driving down the field. Stroud looking and firing for Robert Woods. A 15-yard touchdown in the back of the end zone makes it 14-7 Texans. Second quarter, Blake Grupe makes a 41-yard field goal to make it a 4-point game. Texans still up, however, but they have to punt. This toss to Alvin Kamara from 1 yard out puts the Saints up 17-14, however. On the next drive for the Texans, C.J. Stroud taken out by Nathan Shepard for a 7-yard sack. But they do drive down the length of the field. Dameon Pierce going to get the handoff, and 9-yard touchdown run makes it 21-17 Texans. But before halftime, the Saints' Carr going to get wrapped up by Tavier Thomas. That's how we would go into halftime. Third quarter, Carr dropping back, going to try and run forward with it. Unfortunately, he gets found and taken down by Steven Nelson, a 3-yard sack. They're forced to punt, but Stroud would get caught again by Nathan Shepard on a 7-yard sack. Then Stroud looking to his left for Robert Woods. Instead, he finds Tyrann Mathieu, the former LSU Tiger, the Honey Badger, going to put the Saints into Texans territory. Later on, Carr looks and fires to Chris Olave for a 21-yard touchdown, puts the Saints up 24-21. Stroud gets wrapped up and taken out by Demario Davis later on in an 11-yard sack. They're forced to punt. Alvin Kamara handed the ball. 15-yard touchdown run makes it 31-21 Saints. Fourth quarter. Not much time left for the Texans. Stroud looking and firing, but it's blocked. So they get a turnover on downs. However, the Saints, Houston Texans defense was not going to let up. Malik Collins sacks him far back for 8 yards. Then Kamara going to try and run with it, but he fumbles the ball, bounces around before it's finally picked up by Will Anderson Jr., the number 3 overall from this year's draft. That'll help to set up this Dameon Pierce 5-yard touchdown run. Makes it 31-28. Texans going for the onside kick, and it's going to bounce their way, so they get a chance to try and take the lead. They drive down the field. Dameon Pierce going to take this one in from 2 yards out. 35-31 Texans. Carr going to get wrapped up and taken out by Jonathan Greenard for a 10-yard sack, but they keep driving. Kamara going to run with the ball, but he fumbles it. It bounces around. It gets picked up by Tavier Thomas. Thomas makes it a 26-yard scoop and score. It's 42-31 Texans. On the ensuing kickoff return, Jamal Williams is going to try and help the Saints as much as he can, but he's going to get taken down on a 32-yard kick return. Carr would try to throw from Michael Thomas on this fourth down to his right, a 14-yard fourth down conversion, but it does not matter. The Texans come away with the win on this one, 42-31. They go to 2-3, and they head to Carolina in Week 8. They got a bye week next week. Meanwhile, the Saints, they're 1-4, just like Carr's old team. They take on Jacksonville next week at home. Meanwhile, the bitter rival of the Saints, the Atlanta Falcons, get Cordero Patterson back as they host the Washington Commanders. First quarter, Sam Howell going to get sacked by Caden Ellis for an 11-yard sack. Very next play, man in motion. Howell going to toss it to Brian Robinson. Robinson, a feel-good story in the NFL, going to break 3 tackles as he keeps on going. But on the 4th one, he fumbles the ball and is picked up by David Onyemata, who's going to recover it. However, on the Falcons' next drive, another Robinson running back, Bijan Robinson, the rookie out of Texas, he is going to fumble the ball himself, and it's going to get picked up by Chase Young, the former Rookie of the Year from 2020. However, on the net drive for the Commanders, fumble by Brian Robinson gets picked up by Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett's going to break a tackle and get a block. Can he? Could he? Will he? He's going to break 2 more, and he's going to score on a 75-yard scoop and score. Falcons strike first at 7-0. Then this throw for Brian Robinson, picked off by Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates going to get a 21-yard pick 6. And it's 14-0 Falcons. On the ensuing kickoff, Chris Rodriguez Jr. fumbles, and it's picked up by Jeff Okuda, who doesn't score. It was nearly a scoop and score. That's all right, because on the very next play, Ritter going to toss it to Brian Robinson. 5-yard touchdown run, 21-0 Falcons. Second quarter, Howell dropping back before he tries to run forward. He's wrapped up and found before he's finally taken down by Troy Anderson for a 1-yard sack. But on the very next play, man in motion for the Commanders. Howell dropping back. Who's he going to look for? Scary Terry! Terry McLaurin, 29-yard touchdown catch. 21-7. Falcons still have the lead. Then Ritter looks to his left and throws for Tyler Algier. He finds Montez Sweat, who picks him off. However, on the ensuing drive, Brian Robinson, he is going to fumble the ball. He had butter for hands all day today. Richie Grant is going to recover it. But on the very next play, Desmond Ritter's throw for Drake London gets picked off by Emmanuel Forbes, the Commanders' first-round pick. But the Commanders, Sam Howell tries to scoot away with this one. Jeff Okuda finds him and takes him down for a 10-yard sack. Then Howell looking to his left, throws to his left. Who's he finding? Scary Terry, who will be wrapped up for the first down, and he is hurt on an 18-yard catch. So that means their best weapon, arguably, is taken out of the game, and De'Ami Brown is going to have to replace him. Sam Howell not getting much help from his offensive line. Caden Ellis gets to him for an 11-yard sack. That means they have to rely on a Joey Sly 46-yard field goal. Makes it 21-10 Falcons. Commanders would get the ball back, and Sly tries to make a 46-yarder again with 17 seconds left to go in the half, but it's no good. It's wide left. Third quarter, Ritter hands it off to Tyler Algier. Algier is going to run with this one. Can he? Could he? Will he? He won't, but he'll make it first and goal for the Falcons. But unfortunately, it's a Pyrrhic run. He is injured on that 39-yard run. So who's got to come in to replace him? Cordero Patterson. Very next play, Ritter hands it off to Patterson, and Patterson going to run it in from 8 yards out for a touchdown, 28-10 Falcons. But on the ensuing drive, Howell looks and fires to his left for De'Ami Brown in the end zone. Makes it 28-17. Then, on the ensuing drive for the Falcons, Ritter going to play action this one. Roll to his right, throws for Drake London. London, he is deep. Can he? No, he won't. He's going to fumble the ball instead, and it's picked up by Emmanuel Forbes. Does it again. On the very next play, Howell going to toss it to Brian Robinson. Robinson going to run with it. He's going to fumble it, but it's out of bounds, thankfully, for the Commanders. But Joey Sly is going to miss this 54-yarder. Doinks it off the right upright, so it's still struggle time for the Commanders. Fourth quarter, they're dropping back, and throw is for Mac Hollins. Instead, it goes to Cameron Curl, the safety. Fourth down, Howell looks to his right. Throw is for Thomas. Can't find him, it's incomplete. Turnover on downs. Ritter gets taken down by Cody Barton for a 9-yard sack, but a couple plays later, Ritter, play action. Looks to it, scrambles to his right, throws for Drake London, who is wide open, 35-17 Falcons. Brian Robinson would get this toss, a 2-yard run for a touchdown, makes it 35-24 Falcons. Commanders try for the onside kick to try and keep themselves alive. They do get it, but it does not matter. It's too little too late. The Falcons win this one, 35-24. They go to 3-2 and take on division rival Tampa Bay next week down in Florida. Washington drops to 1-4, and they've got a division rival of their own that they have to go take on as they take on the Giants in New Jersey next week. Indianapolis, one of the only winless teams in the league. They go down to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Colts would get Dallas Flowers. The Jaguars would get both Hasty and Lawrence back from injury. First quarter, Richardson going to get sacked by Trayvon Walker for a 10-yard sack. They're forced to punt. But Trevor Lawrence gets sacked himself by Kenny Moore for a 3-yard sack. They're forced to punt. Colts would drive down the field on the next drive, and Matt Gay, 52-yard field goal, makes it 3-0. The Colts strike first. On the ensuing drive for the Jaguars, Lawrence looks to his left and throws for Calvin Ridley. Ridley! What an amazing acquisition for him for the Jaguars last year. Can he? Could he? Will he? No, but it's a 73-yard catch. Lawrence, however, a couple plays later, gets sacked by Samson Ebukam for a 6-yard sack. Then he looks and fires for Christian Kirk in the end zone and finds Darrell Baker Jr. The Colts still have a lead. They drive down the field. Richardson, play action, rolls to his left. Throw is for Josh Downs, and Downs is going to score a touchdown. It's 10-0 Indianapolis. Second quarter, Kirk throws to his left and finds Dallas Flowers, who picks him off. So the Colts get another chance to score. And Richardson, he's going to play action and then just run with it himself. 1-yard touchdown run. It's 17-0 Colts. Jamal Agnew on the ensuing drive. He is going to bob and weave around as much as he can to make a 33-yard return. They drive down the field. Lawrence looking and firing to his right for Evan Ingram, and he gets it. Makes it 17-7. Richardson would drive down the field some more. However, he gets sacked by Roy Robertson. But that's all right, because on a 2nd and goal, Richardson is going to hand it off to Zach Moss, and Moss is going to run it in for 15 yards out. It's now 24-7 Colts. That's not right. Jamal Agnew, he is going to try and bob weave again. Unfortunately, he's hurt on this 18-yard kick return. So they have to go with JaMychal Hasty, who just came back from injury. He's the last reserve running back that the Jaguars have. Third quarter, Lawrence dropping back, looking and firing for Zay Jones. He's going to find Zay Jones. Jones is going to fumble the ball, and it's picked up by Rodney Thomas of the Colts. What is going on down in Jacksonville? Richardson, barely any time left before he throws it from Michael Pittman Jr., recovers in the end zone for a 9-yard touchdown catch. 31-7 Colts. Jaguars going to drive down the field, and Lawrence going to throw for Zay Jones. Jones going to make up for his mistake last time with a 19-yard touchdown, makes it 31-14. On the next drive for the Colts, Richardson in his own end zone, looking for Pierce. Alec Pierce. He's going to get this one deep, had to dive for it, but he could still make a really big play, especially if he fumbles the ball. It's not the big play that they want from him, and the Jaguars are going to recover it. However, Lawrence is going to throw for Evan Ingram, and Ingram is going to take this one into Indianapolis territory before he fumbles, and it's recovered by Kenny Moore. And Moore is going to take this one into shallow Colts territory. Fourth quarter, Richardson going to run forward and gets bound and taken down by Trayvon Walker. That means they have to rely on Matt Gay's leg. 55-yard field goal doinks in. 34-14 Colts. Desperation time for the Jaguars. Man in motion for Jacksonville. Lawrence dropping back, throws to his right, over the middle actually, for Zay Jones. A 6-yard touchdown makes it 34-21. Ensuing drive, Anthony Richardson gets taken down on this 4-yard sack by Adam Gotsis. And he is hurt. Who has to come in for Indianapolis? The former Jaguars QB, Gardner Minshew, has to come in for Indianapolis. And he is going to make a good showing, as a couple plays later he throws for Michael Pittman Jr. on a 6-yard touchdown. 41-21, Colts have a 20-point lead with barely any time left for Indy. Kenny Moore is going to get a 3-yard sack. Jacksonville would drive down the field. Lawrence going to look and fire to his left. Actually, over the middle, I apologize, for Zay Jones, but still towards his left. 41-28, Colts still have the lead. They try for the onside kick, but it does not matter. Indianapolis, no longer winless, as they win 41-28. They go to 1-4. They take on Cleveland next week, thankfully at home. Meanwhile, Jacksonville, they drop to 1-3. Next week, they have to head down to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucs, their fellow Florida team. And now for an NFC West matchup, as Zach Ertz is going to be returning for the Cardinals as they head to LA to take on the Rams. First quarter, Stafford going to get taken out by Jonathan Ledbetter, a 6-yard sack. Later on, however, Stafford just looks and fires for Cooper Kupp to his right. Cooper Kupp, he is going to make a 51-yard catch. He's finally caught, but that's still pretty good. Stafford, however, a couple plays later, dropped by Kaiser White, sent him back 11 yards. Very next play, though, handoff to Cam Akers, going to dodge every single Cardinals defender that tries to go after him. A 25-yard touchdown makes it 7-0 Rams. Ensuing drive, Josh Dobbs throws to his right for Zach Ertz. Overthrows him, though, and instead finds Russ Yeast, who picks him off. That'll help set up this connection from Stafford to Cooper Kupp, who just barely dodges the Cardinals defender that was also trying to pick the ball off, and he gets a touchdown to make it 14-0 Rams. Second quarter, Brett Maher going to have to go for a 25-yard field goal after a first quarter finisher, 17-0 Rams. On the ensuing kickoff, Emari Demercado is hurt on a 17-yard kick return, so Zach Pascal is going to come in for running back, and Trey McBride is going to come in for kick and punt returns. You'll notice they have no backup running back, so a wide receiver is going to come in at the running back position. Dobbs going to throw for Hollywood Brown a few plays later. Brown is going to make a 61-yard catch, and on the very next play, Dobbs, second verse, same as the first, looks and fires to his left for Marquise Hollywood Brown. He's going to make an 18-yard touchdown catch, makes it 17-7 Rams. But on the ensuing drive, all Stafford has to do, find Cooper Kupp. Kupp is going to make this a 53-yard touchdown, puts the Rams up 24-7. On the ensuing drive, McBride going to run with this one, and he's going to fumble the ball. That's the bad news. Good news is picked up by Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs, he has had nothing but fighting spirit for the Cardinals all season, even though people thought they were going to tank. Ernest Jones, though, going to try and put those dreams into nightmares. 10-yard sack. Then they are forced to punt. Puka Nacua. How about this man making a 32-yard punt return? But a few plays later, this throw for Tutu Atwell picked off by Marco Wilson. They have a couple of seconds left before the end of the half. So Josh Dobbs going to look and fire for Zach Ertz yet again. This time he connects with him for a 9-yard touchdown. It's 24-14. Rams lead the Cardinals. Stafford in the third quarter going to try and run with it, but he's found by Josh Woods and sent back 1 yard. A couple plays later, though, Stafford going to look and fire for Cooper Kupp yet again. He's going to make a 42-yard touchdown, make it 31-14 Rams. Rams get the ball back later on. They go down to fourth down in the red zone, and Brett Maher makes a 34-yard field goal, makes it 34-14. Matt Prater got a good leg of his own, makes a 44-yarder to make it 34-17, but the Cardinals need a lot of help. Stafford going to try and run with it. He's taken down from behind by Leki Fotu for a 2-yard sack. So that means they have to settle for Brett Maher's leg again. A 51-yarder makes it a 20-point game again, 37-17 Rams. Cardinals running out of time. Dobbs tries to throw, but it's blocked, so it's a turnover on downs. But very next play, this throw for Van Jefferson picked off by Budda Baker. So the Cardinals still playing for pride, even though this one is pretty much over. This 1-yard touchdown run by Zach Pascal makes it 37-24. They try the onside kick and would fail. Zaven Collins, though, would get to Matt Stafford on a 7-yard sack. But Brett Maher is going to put this one away. 40-24. Rams win this division rival battle. They get to go to 2-3, and they take on Pittsburgh next week. Arizona still 1-4, and they have to head up to Washington State to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Now for an intense battle down in Florida as Amon-Ra St. Brown returns for the Lions as they take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. First quarter, Goff tries to roll to his left. It worked in Kansas City, hasn't worked since. Kalijah Kancey gets a 4-yard sack on him, but a couple of plays later, Goff going to throw to his left for Amon-Ra St. Brown. St. Brown, can he? Could he? Will he? He will not, but it's a 52-yard catch, and a couple of plays later, it's a 31-yard touchdown catch by St. Brown, makes it 7-0 Lions. In the ensuing drive for the Buccaneers, a fumble by Sean Tucker gets thankfully secured by Coke Heaft. But on the very next play, Sean Tucker fumbles it again. And this time it's Derek Barnes of the Lions who recovers it. So didn't quite work the same way the second time, but Devin White would get a sack on Jared Goff for a 9-yarder. They're forced to punt, and on the ensuing Buccaneers drive, Mayfield looking patiently, fires over to his left. He finds Chris Godwin, who is going to make a very nice-looking 69-yard touchdown catch to tie it up at 7. Second quarter, Goff tries this again. He's wrapped up and taken down by Joe Tryon for a 3-yard sack. Then, on the ensuing drive for the Bucs, Mayfield's pass for Mike Evans is picked off by Emmanuel Mosley. The Lions will drive down the field, and Josh Reynolds gets the 6-yard touchdown, makes it 14-7. On the ensuing drive for the Buccaneers, Mayfield looks and fires for Tucker. He is going to get a first down and more, but then he is going to fumble the ball and it's recovered by someone on Detroit. We couldn't quite see who it was, but that would result in a 28-yard field goal by Riley Patterson. 17-7, the Lions still have the lead. They get the ball back, and they're just going to hand it off to David Montgomery for a 1-yard punch-in. 24-7 Lions. Mayfield then looks to his right for O'Keefe. He finds Kirby Joseph for the Lions to end the half. Third quarter, Mayfield gets taken down by Derek Barnes in the backfield. Then a couple plays later, Isaiah Buggs' his turn to get a sack. This time it's a 4-yard sack that pushes them way back. They're forced to punt. Lions thankfully get very good field position and a handoff to David Montgomery. No one anywhere even really close to him. 16-yard touchdown makes it 31-7 Lions. Ensuing drive, Mayfield throws for O'Keefe. And wow, I'm experiencing deja vu because it's a Kirby Joseph pick off of the pass meant for O'Keefe. Very next play, Goff throws over the middle for Jahmyr Gibbs, who is going to make this a 28-yard touchdown. 38-7 Lions. But Mayfield, he's got other weapons. Throwing to his right from Mike Evans. Evans jumps up to get this one. He's got one man to beat, and he does. 55-yard touchdown makes it 38-14. But on the ensuing Lions drive, Goff just needs to look for that man. Amon-Ra St. Brown jumps up to get this one, and he only has one man to beat himself. Unfortunately, didn't quite have enough separation. 60-yard catch, though, helps to set up this handoff to David Montgomery, who's going to roll to his left and run it in from 22 yards out. 45-14, Lions have the lead. On the ensuing Buccaneers drive to start near the start of the fourth quarter, Aiden Hutchinson gets a 4-yard sack on Baker Mayfield. It's fourth down. Handoff to Sean Tucker. Tucker can't get anywhere close to the first down, so it's a turnover on down. So Goff just going to casually toss it over the middle to Jahmyr Gibbs in the end zone for a 12-yard touchdown, makes it 52-14. Sean Tucker going to get this one again, going to fumble it again. He has had butterfingers all day. And thankfully for him, it's secured by Sullen on Tampa Bay, but Alex Anzalone going to make Mayfield's life even worse with a 7-yard sack. And then, well, you know, they say good things come in threes. A pickoff of a pass meant for O'Keefe, intercepted by Kirby Joseph. Deep into Lions territory. Lions would punt, and this throw for Sean Tucker is instead picked off by Cameron Sutton, who nearly makes it a pick six. 52-14, Lions get the victory and go to 4-1. They head to Baltimore next week to take on the Ravens. The Buccaneers, well, they get Atlanta next week. Thankfully, they get them at home. Well, the Dolphins scored 70 last week, and they're hoping to score even more this week. They will get Raheem Mostert and Braxton Berrios back for this game against the Panthers. First quarter, Frankie Louvu going to take down Tua Tagovailoa for a 4-yard sack. However, a couple plays later, Tua throws to his left for Jalen Waddle. Waddle going to make this one a 60-yard catch. And he's going to get just outside the red zone, but that's all right because Jason Sanders going to kick it in for a 27-yard field goal, makes it 3-0 Dolphins. On the ensuing drive, Young throws for DJ Chark. Instead, he finds Xavier Howard, who fumbles it out of bounds after he's taken down. Very next play, throw for Raheem Mostert is picked off by Xavier Woods. And Woods is going to take this one into Miami territory. And he's going to fight for every single last yard he can get. Takes at least 2 men to take him down. A couple plays later, though, since the the Dolphins get the ball back on a punt. Tua throws to his left for Jalen Waddle yet again in the back of the end zone. 28-yard touchdown makes it 10-0 Dolphins. Second quarter, Eddie Pinheiro at the very start. It's a 55-yard field goal, makes it 10-3. The Dolphins would punt, and Miles Sanders gets this toss, 6-yard touchdown run, ties the game up at 10. Frankie Louvu gets to Tua again for a 10-yard sack. And then the very next play, it's Brian Burns' turn to get a sack, sending him back 4 yards. They're forced to punt. But the Dolphins have people who can sack as well. Zach Sealer, 6-yarder, forces the Panthers to punt. On the ensuing drive for the Dolphins, a pass for Raheem Mostert, picked off by Von Bell. Very next play, however, Christian Wilkins is going to get a sack of Bryce Young. Lots of defense in the first half today. Very next play, though, DJ Chark going to make a 47-yard touchdown, puts the Panthers up 17-10 at the half. Third quarter, Christian Wilkins going to find Bryce Young again for a 4-yard sack. They're forced to punt. And Tua, play action, looks to his right for Tyreek Hill. No one anywhere even close to him. A 55-yard touchdown ties this game up at 17. But the Panthers will drive down the field, and Young going to throw to his left for Adam Thielen, who is going to make this a 49-yard touchdown. 24-17 Panthers. Tua hands it off to Mostert on the ensuing drive, and he fumbles it, and it's picked up by Derek Brown, who fights for every yard that he can get, and he will hand it off. And then later on, Bryce Young hands it off to Miles Sanders for a 6-yard touchdown run, 31-17. Braxton Berrios needs to give the Dolphins some really good field position, and with a 54-yard kick return, he is going to do exactly that. Very next play, Tua looks for Waddle yet again to his left, but overthrows him, and instead he finds Von Bell for the second time today. On the ensuing drive, Young throws for DJ Chark. Chark, can he? Could he? Will he? He will not, but he will get a 64-yard catch. But on the very next play, Jerome Baker is going to push him back 2 of those 64 yards. So, fourth quarter comes around. DJ Chark gets a 20-yard touchdown catch from Bryce Young, 38-17 Panther. Ensuing kickoff return by Braxton Berrios has him dodging and weaving and juking around as much as he can for a 36-yard kick return. They drive down the length of the field, and Tua going to look and fire for Tyreek Hill, the former Chief. 9-yard touchdown catch makes it 38-24. Dolphins still have a chance here in the fourth quarter, but not if Bryce Young finds Hayden Hurst. Jumps up to get this one, not diving. He jumps high into the air, makes this a 62-yarder after breaking several tackles. And that will help to set up this 9-yard touchdown run by Miles Sanders, makes it 45-24. A couple plays later, for the Dolphins, Derek Brown sacks Tua for a 4-yard sack, so it's fourth down. Tua looks to his left and throws for Jalen Waddle, but he's way overthrown. He was the only one in the area, so it could turn over on downs. On the Panthers' next drive, Miles Sanders gets wrapped up and tackled. He fumbles it, but he fumbles it out of bounds. A couple plays later, just toss it to him for a 14-yard touchdown run. Makes it 52-24. Panthers just devoured the Dolphins today. They get a bye week next week before they take on Houston as they go to 4-1. Miami drops to 2-3, and they don't have too easy of a game next week as they have to take on a very tough Philadelphia Eagles squad in Philadelphia. The Giants are the last winless team, with the Colts having won. They, however, don't have a very easy opponent either. They have to head to Buffalo to take on the Bills. First quarter, Gabriel Davis going to take this catch. He's going to take it 53 yards. That'll help to set up this play on 2nd and 16. Allen with a man in motion. Play action. Rolls to his right, throws for his number one receiver, like so many that do this. Stephon Diggs gets a 26-yard touchdown, puts the Bills up 7-0. Ensuing drive, Jordan Poyer is going to pick off Daniel Jones' pass for Isaiah Hodgins. And on the very next play, Allen, once again, rolls to his right. Dodges a lot of tackles here. But he throws for Stephon Diggs for a 49-yard touchdown because he was wide open on an all-out blitz. 14-0 Bills becomes 21-0 after this 3-yard punch-in by Damian Harris at the end of the first quarter. Second quarter, Gabe Davis. Now it's his turn. A 35-yard touchdown makes it 28-0 Buffalo. On the ensuing Bills drives, the Giants keep punting. Kayvon Thibodeau gets an 8-yard sack. Therefore, Buffalo finally forced to punt. And then the Giants finally get to score. Darren Waller gets it to break a tackle or two and dodges some tackles. 28-7, though. Bills still have the lead. On the ensuing drive for the Bills, Gabriel Davis, he is going to fumble the ball, and it's picked up by Jason Pinnock, who's going to take this a couple extra yards back and fight for every single one. And by a couple, I mean he's going very close to midfield. But a couple plays later, Terrell Bernard is going to find and take down Daniel Jones for a 2-yard sack. That means they have to rely on Graham Gano for a 53-yard field goal near the end of the half. It's 28-10, and Buffalo still has the lead. Deontay Hardy, though, on the ensuing kickoff return, is going to take this 22 yards, and he is going to be hurt at the very end of the half. So Latavius Murray is going to come in to replace him for returns. Third quarter, Giants get the ball first. Saquon Barkley fumbles the ball. It gets scooped up and taken by Tre'Davious White, who's going to recover this one and nearly scoop and scores it. He is just outside of the end zone. So Josh Allen on the very next play just going to run it himself. 35-10, Buffalo extends their lead. In the ensuing Giants drive, Ed Oliver gets a sack of Daniel Jones, pushes him back 9 yards. But they'll drive down the field, and Jones going to look and fire for Darius Slayton for a 30-yard touchdown. Makes it 35-17. Buffalo still has the lead. In the ensuing drive for the Bills, Kayvon Thibodeau gets to Josh Allen again. 10-yard sack. They're forced to punt. But Jones going to get wrapped up and taken down and fumbles the ball on the strip sack. Gets recovered by Matt Milano. So Buffalo still going to make life not fun for Daniel Jones. The Giants, Taron Johnson in the fourth quarter will wrap up Daniel Jones for a 1-yard sack. But a couple plays later, fourth down. This throw for Saquon Barkley is a very good fourth down conversion for 37 yards. And again, fourth down territory. A throw for Darren Waller is going to make a 14-yard fourth down conversion. So the Giants are still alive. Taron Johnson going to try and put the Giants down for good, a 12-yard sack, but on the very next foot. So that means the very next play, Graham Gano has to make a 34-yard field goal, makes it 35-20. They try for the onside kick, and the ball bounces their way. So the Giants still have some life left in them, but this throw for Darius Slayton picked off by Tre'Davious White. And Tre'Davious White, can he? Could he? Will he? He will! It's a 78-yard pick six to put the Bills up by 22. Daniel Jones gets found and taken down by Taron Johnson for a 1-yard sack. It's a turnover on downs. Stephon Diggs is just going to add more pain to the Giants for a 7-yard touchdown. 49-20. Buffalo wins this one. They improve to 4-1, and they take on New England in Foxborough next week. Meanwhile, the Giants still winless at 0-5, and they've got a Washington team that's hungry and wanting for revenge. Now from one of our Great Lake teams to the other. Brock Purdy comes back for the 49ers as they go to Cleveland to take on the Browns. First quarter, Browns have to rely on Dustin Hopkins for a 59-yard field goal, puts them up 3-0. However, the 49ers get a field goal of their own for a 53-yarder, ties this game up at 3. On the ensuing Browns drive, Deshaun Watson going to get taken down by Javon Hargrave for an 8-yard sack. That means they have to rely on a Dustin Hopkins 49-yarder. Nearly blocked, but it's good. 6-3, Cleveland has the lead going into the second quarter. Purdy dropping back and gets taken down by Myles Garrett for a 9-yard sack. They drive down the field, and Jake Moody kicks a 48-yard missed field goal that goes wide right. So the Browns get the ball back. Drake Greenlaw going to take down Deshaun Watson for a 10-yard sack. Therefore, forces to the punt. Purdy then looks to his left and throws for Deebo Samuel, one of his many weapons on offense, for a 40-yard touchdown. Makes it 10-6 Cleveland. But Cleveland's got a weapon of their own. Nick Chubb going to make this a 35-yard touchdown run. 13-10 Cleveland. At the end of the half, Jake Moody going to kick this 38-yard field goal. This time it sinks in. It's tied up at 13. Third quarter, Watson in shotgun formation looks for the Peoples-Jones. Donovan Peoples-Jones. Can he? Could he? Will he? Not if that defense has anything to say about a 66-yard catch. On the very next play, Watson going to try and run forward, but he's found by Isaiah Oliver, who's going to take him down for a 40-yard sack. But Watson going to toss this one for Amari Cooper for a 21-yard touchdown catch, 20-13 Browns. Ensuing drive for the 49ers. Purdy going to run with it. He's going to get the first down. He's going to get into Cleveland territory. He is going to get hurt on a 24-yard run just after they got him back. So that means once again, Sam Darnold comes in to try and replace him. On the ensuing drive, Purdy's throw for George Kittle gets picked off by Martin Emerson Jr. So that helps to lead to Watson with this play action thrown to his right for Amari Cooper for a 35-yard touchdown. However, it's 26-13 because Dustin Hopkins' extra point is blocked this time. On the ensuing drive for the 49ers, Darnold going to get taken down by Myles Garrett for a 7-yard sack. They're forced to punt. Cleveland drives down the field. Watson, play action, rolls to his right and throws for Amari Cooper. 14-yard touchdown makes it a 20-point lead for the Browns. Ensuing drive, fourth quarter. Darnold going to run with this one himself. Bubbles the ball, thankfully for the 49ers, picked up by Kyle Juszczyk, and he gets the first down and more, but it's fourth down. Darnold in shotgun. Throw is for George Kittle. He needs to make something. Unfortunately, he makes nothing, so it's a turnover on downs. Very next play, though, Fred Warner going to get to Deshaun Watson for an 8-yard sack. However, a couple plays later, Watson does it again. Roll to his right. It's Amari Cooper. 49-yard touchdown makes it 40-13 Browns. San Francisco needs all the help they can get if they want to at least try to get into this game. And Darnold going to throw for Deebo Samuel. Samuel! Can he? Could he? Will he? He will! A 76-yard touchdown makes it 40-20. San Francisco tries for the onside kick. They get it. They drive down the field, toss it to Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey going to make an 11-yard touchdown run. It's 40-27. On the ensuing drive, Cleveland drives down the field, though. Watson going to get sacked by Charvarius Ward for a 10-yard sack. That means it's just a Dustin Hopkins 47-yard field goal just to put him up by extra points. 43-27. Cleveland comes away with the win. They go to 3-1, and they head to Indianapolis next week. Meanwhile, San Francisco, they drop to 3-2 after starting 3-0, and they have to head to cold Minnesota. Eagles used to coming to New York to take on the Giants every year. This time, though, they come to New York to take on the Jets first quarter. Hurts with the play action, rolls to his left, and fires for A.J. Brown. Could he? Will he? He will not, but it is a 62-yard catch. Very next play, though, Hurts going to get wrapped up and taken down by Quinn and Williams, so that means they have to settle for a 31-yard field goal by Jake Elliott. It's 3-0. Philadelphia has the lead first. But on the ensuing drive, Aaron Rodgers drives down the field for the Jets. Toss for Garrett Wilson. 46-yard touchdown makes it 7-3. Jets have the lead. On the ensuing drive for the Eagles, though, Hurts, play action. And who else is he going to look for? A.J. Brown. A 57-yard catch. Spoiler alert, it's not a touchdown here. Very next play, though, Hurts gets wrapped up and taken down by Carl Lawson. So again, they got to settle for a 42-yard field goal by Jake Elliott, which they will make it 7-6. Jets have the lead. Ensuing drive, though, Rodgers gets wrapped up and taken down by Nakobe Dean. A couple plays later, then it's Fletcher Cox who gets to him. A couple plays later again, Nakobe Dean gets another sack on him. 6th and 8th and 1. Finally, the Jets punch it away, so that way Hurts throws for A.J. Brown yet again. This time with even less open space than last time, but still enough for a 57-yard catch. Second quarter, and off to DeAndre Swift is a 5-yard touchdown run. Eagles lead 13-7. On the ensuing play, this pass for Dalvin Cook picked off by Darius Slay, who's going to get into the red zone for the Eagles. That lets Hurts throw to his right for Devontae Smith, who gets a 9-yard touchdown, makes it 20-7 Philadelphia. Jalen Carter then gets to Aaron Rodgers for an 8-yard sack. But a couple plays later, Rodgers throws for Randall Cobb, who will be hurt on this 11-yard catch. So that means they're going to have to bring in Israel Abanikanda to replace him. A couple plays later, though, Rodgers dropping back and throws to his left for Allen Lazard, who dives for this one and still has some room to run. A 58-yard catch that nearly gets into the end zone. But on a couple plays later, Rodgers gets sacked by Hassan Reddick for a 7-yard sack, which means they have to settle for a 26-yard field goal by Greg Zuerlein, making it 20-10. The Eagles still have the lead. Ensuing drive for Philadelphia. Hurts, play action, roll to his left, throw for A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown dodges one receiver that dives at him, dodges another, dodges a third, and he's just shy of the end zone. A 70-yard catch. That means the Eagles, instead of a touchdown, have to settle for Jake Elliott's leg. 20-yarder makes it 23-10 Philadelphia. Ensuing drive for the first drive for the Jets, I apologize, in the third quarter. Breece Hall takes this one 37 yards. That helps to lead to this 25-yard touchdown run by Dalvin Cook. 23-17, Eagles still have the lead. Ensuing drive for Philadelphia, their first one of the second half. Throw for A.J. Brown is picked off by Sauce Gardner, the defensive rookie of the year from last year. And on the very next play, Dalvin Cook, 10-yard touchdown run, makes it 24-23. Jets have the lead. On the next drive for the Eagles, Devontae Smith jumps up to dodge a receiver and get this ball. He's going to take this one 68 yards. Very nice looking. Then Hurts, plenty of time, throws to Dallas Goedert. Instead, he finds C.J. Mosley, who intercepts it, and it's running with this ball. Runs quite a few extra yards past where the line of scrimmage was. That helps to set up this catch by, who else? Garrett Wilson. A 58-yard catch that is just shy of the end zone, which means Rodgers is going to throw it for Dalvin Cook. 1-yard touchdown catch, 31-23 Jets. But Devontae Smith will not be denied. Neither will Hurts, as Hurts throws for Smith a 39-yard touchdown just into the middle of the end zone. 31-30, Jets still have a 1-point lead. Nakobe Dean in the fourth quarter gets a 6-yard sack on Rodgers. They're forced to punt. Hurts looks to his right, throws for Devontae Smith yet again, who gets a 30-yard touchdown catch. 37-31 Eagles. Ensuing drive for the Jets. Hassan Reddick gets to Rodgers, 6-yard sack. He drives down a little bit more, but then it's Nakobe Dean with the 11-yard sack. They're forced to punt, but Hurts gets wrapped up by John Franklin for a 5-yard sack. But they drive down the field some more. Hurts looks and fires, and he finds Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith! Can he? No, he will not, and he fumbles the ball. That makes it even worse, and it's Carl Lawson who gets it in the end zone. Nakobe Dean's going to get to Aaron Rodgers for a 7-yard sack. Time's running down. Rodgers dropping back, looking. He's firing to his left for Allen Lazard. Allen Lazard with the 53-yard catch just outside the end zone. So Rodgers dropping back again. Less than a minute of time. Throws for Allen Lazard. 2-yard touchdown makes it 38-37. Now the Eagles are running out of time. Hand off to DeAndre Swift. It doesn't get too much. Hurts going to run with himself, but Hurts runs out of time. 38-37. Jets win this one. Both teams go to 2-3. Eagles take on Miami next week in Philadelphia. The Jets get a bye week before they host the New York Giants. Now the remaining two undefeated teams, Rico Dowdle and Cavante Turbin, come back for Dallas as they head to LA to take on the unbeaten Chargers. First quarter, Prescott tosses for Tony Pollard. Pollard going to take this 20 yards for a touchdown. It's 7-0 Cowboys strike first. Then Dicker the kicker, 51-yard field goal, makes it 7-3. Dallas still has the lead. Ensuing drive for the Cowboys. C.D. Lamb. How about this man? He is going to take this one 61 yards. Not quite a touchdown, but he gets into the red zone. That's all right. Tony Pollard will take him the remaining 18 yards for a touchdown run. It's 14-3 Cowboys. Going into the second quarter. Literal first play of the quarter. Herbert and shotgun. Looking and firing for Mike Williams right about now. Into the left side. 19-yard touchdown makes it 14-10. Brandon Aubrey, however, makes it 17-10 on a 17-yard field goal. Ensuing drive for the Chargers. Herbert, play action, running out of time, throws for Mike Williams, but he didn't have enough time. Donovan Wilson is who he finds instead. However, Chargers defense holds, so that means Brandon Aubrey has to make a 30-yard field goal. It's 20-10 Cowboys. Ensuing drive for the Chargers. Justin Herbert, looking and firing to his left for Mike Williams, and he finds, oh, what do you know, deja vu, it's Donovan Wilson yet again. He picks him off. That'll help to set up Prescott throwing for C.D. Lamb for a 48-yard touchdown with no one anywhere close to him. 27-10, Dallas has the lead. Herbert drops back and then tries to run with it, but Leighton Vander Esch gets him before he can get breaking free. Cowboys get the final drive. They're in their own territory, though, so Prescott throws for CeeDee Lamb, and Lamb going to make a 57-yard half-ending touchdown, 34-10 Cowboys. Second half, Herbert going to get wrapped up and taken down by Dorrance Armstrong for a 6-yard sack, but they drive down the field, and Joshua Kelly runs it in for 3 yards out, 34-17. Not to get done, though. Prescott fires for CeeDee Lamb for a 46-yard touchdown, makes it 41-17 Dallas. Then, on the ensuing drive, Herbert going to try and run with it. He's going to get past the line of scrimmage. He's going to get the first down, but he's going to fumble the ball, and it's going to get picked up by Jonathan Hankins for the fumble recovery, and he is going to take this one into Chargers territory. That'll help to set up this a few plays later. A handoff to Tony Pollard that he was just going to take into the end zone from 23 yards out. 48-17, Cowboys have the lead. Fourth quarter, Chargers need something. Fourth down, Herbert throws for Joshua Kelly, who gets an easy first down. Very next play, Herbert dropping back. Plenty of time. Throws to his right for Keenan Allen. 18-yard touchdown, makes it 48-24. Fortunately, they don't go for the onside kick. Khalil Mack, though, gets to Dak Prescott, so the Chargers get another chance. This throw for Joshua Palmer, though, instead finds Stephon Gilmore of the Cowboys. Not something they needed. Very next play, Dallas. Prescott looks, fires to his left on a screen pass for Tony Pollard. Pollard, he's going to take this one for a first down, and then he will fumble the ball. And it gets picked up by Eric Kendricks of the Chargers, so there's still life left in him. Osa Odigizua, though, says not so fast. 8-yard sack, sends him back. DeMarcus Lawrence, though, says, hey, I don't care if you're in shotgun formation. I want to take you down, too. Another 8-yard sack. Pushes him back even further. Fourth down again. Herbert dropping back. Looking and firing for Joshua Palmer. Palmer barely gets taken down after a bunch of more backup comes for Dallas. Then Joshua Kelly runs in for 4 yards out. They try for the onside kick. They get it, but it does not matter. Cowboys take away the Chargers' undefeated season. 48-31, they lead. They win this one they go to 4-1. And after next week's bye week, they host the LA Rams. Chargers, though, they drop to 3-1 and they go to Kansas City. Now we head out to Nashville, Tennessee, as Julius Chestnut and Kearis Jackson return for the Titans as they host the Baltimore Ravens. Tyler Huntley in the first quarter gets strip sacked, and it gets picked up by Azeez Al-Shaair for the 11-yard scoop and score, makes it 7-0 Tennessee. Nick Folk then makes it 10-0 off this 23-yard chip shot field goal. On the ensuing drive, Ravens, Huntley hands it off to Gus Edwards. Edwards going to run in from 13 yards out on the touchdown. However, Justin Tucker's extra point would be blocked, so instead of 10-7, it's 10-6. Ensuing drive for the Titans, Tannehill dropping back, play action, rolling to his right, and he's going to throw for the former Cardinal DeAndre Hopkins, who's taking on a different bird team this time. He dives for it, and he is going to make it a 50-yard catch. Going into the second quarter, same drive, Tannehill, play action, rolling to his right. This time, it's Treylon Burks in the middle of a triangle of white jerseys. He gets a 31-yard touchdown, but Nick Folk is now the one to have the extra point blocked, so it's now 16-6 Titans. Tyler Huntley, though, takes a 2-yard touchdown run in himself, makes it 16-13. Tennessee still has the lead. Tannehill, play action, looking and firing over the middle for Julius Chestnut, actually to his right. Instead, he finds Marcus Williams. Ravens to drive down the field, and Justin Tucker makes a 40-yard field goal, ties this game up at 16 apiece. Next drive for the Titans. They drive down the field, but Tannehill, sacked by Roquan Smith, sends him back 8 yards. Very next play, Nick Folk, he's going to make this 44-yard field goal to make it a 19-16 Tennessee lead going into halftime. Third quarter, Titans get the ball first. Kearis Jackson, he is going to zoom around, zig and zag for a 42-yard kick return. They drive down the field, but they have to rely on Nick Folk again. 26-yard field goal makes it 22-16 Tennessee. The Ravens would be forced to punt. Tennessee gets the ball, and Kearis Jackson fumbles it. Tyler Linderbaum is going to take this one, and for some reason, nobody is tackling him. It's a 50-yard scoop and score, and the Ravens have a 1-point lead, 23-22. On the next drive for the Titans, David Ojabo gets a 9-yard sack on Tannehill. They have to punt. The Ravens would drive down the field. Justin Tucker makes a 45-yard field goal, 26-22. Ravens still have the lead. End of the third quarter. This throw for Treylon Burks. Can he? Could he? Will he? No, but it's a 65-yarder. Fourth quarter, Tannehill, play action, throws over the middle for DeAndre Hopkins. He gets him an 8-yard touchdown. 29-26 Tennessee. Justin Tucker ties it up at 29 off a 29-yard field goal. So, last minute of the game, Julius Chestnut gets the ball. 6-yard touchdown run. But Nick Folk's extra point is blocked. So, with a touchdown and extra point, the Ravens could still win this. Devin Duvernay, he is going to run this one. He's running out of time. First down. Hundley dropping back, throws for Mark Andrews, and he will be picked off by Amani Hooker. And the Titans are going to win this one 35-29 in what was a good fight from both teams. Baltimore drops to 1-4. They take on Detroit next week. Meanwhile, Tennessee, they get Atlanta as they go to 3-2. Now to our game of the week, where the last unbeaten team, the Cincinnati Bengals, host the returning DJ Dallas of the Seattle Seahawks. First quarter, Geno Smith dropping back and looks to his left to throw for Tyler Lockett just in time. And we picked off twice, but Lockett going to make this a 50-yard catch. And on the very next play, Geno Smith, he liked it so much the first time, he does it again. Tyler Lockett jumps up to get this one a 26-yard touchdown, makes it 7-0 Seahawks. On the ensuing kickoff return, Chris Evans, he's going to take it 17 yards, and then he's going to be hurt on this kick return. So that means Travion Williams is going to come in to replace him. A couple plays later in the actual drive, Burrow tosses to Joe Mixon. Mixon is going to fumble the ball on the tackle, and Jarron Reed is going to be there to recover it for Seattle. However, a couple plays later, Smith in shotgun formation. Mike Hilton does not care. 4-yard sack, sends him back a couple yards. That's all right. Going to toss this one to Kenneth Walker III for a 12-yard touchdown run. It's 14-0 Seattle. Travion Williams, he likes to show off that he can be just as good as what Chris Evans was. He's going to make this a 36-yard kick return. We'll drive down the field a little more, but Bobby Wagner is going to be there for a 10-yard sack. Keep driving, hand off to Joe Mixon for a 5-yard punch, and it's 14-7. On the ensuing drive, DJ Dallas, who remember just came back from injury, fumbles the ball, thankfully out of bounds. That'll help to set up Smith, connecting with, that's unfortunate for Seattle. That was for Noah Fant. Logan Wilson of Cincinnati recovers that fumble. That'll help to set up this Tyler Boyd 7-yard touchdown, 14-all. On the ensuing kickoff return, DJ Dallas, well, he doesn't want to make the same mistake as last time. He's going to break some tackles, and then he's going to keep on going for a 39-yard kick return to end the quarter. Second quarter, Burrow going to get wrapped up and taken down by Uchenna Nwosu for a 6-yard sack. Very next play, though, Burrow just going to find his fellow LSU graduate, Jamar Chase, for a 53-yard catch. Very next play, though, Uchenna Nwosu going to push them back 7 yards on another sack. A couple plays later, though, Burrow dropping back and looking for T. Higgins, and he finds him on the left side in the back of the end zone for a 12-yard touchdown. 21-14, Bengals take the lead. With the Seattle next drive, Smith going to get wrapped up and taken down by Jermaine Pratt for a 6-yard sack. However, Smith, deep in his own territory, looks and fires to his right for DK Metcalf. Metcalf! Can he? Could he? Will he? He will not, but it's an 86-yard catch. And on the very next play, Smith just going to give it to Kenny Walker. He's going to run it in from 5 yards out, ties the game up at 21. Not to be outdone, Joe Mixon runs it in from 4 yards out, 28-21 Bengals. On the ensuing drive for the Seahawks, Mike Hilton going to get to Geno Smith for an 8-yard sack to end the half. Third quarter, Bengals get the ball first. Burrow dropping back. He's going to try and run forward, but he's going to get taken down by Quandre Diggs for a 1-yard sack. A couple plays later, Burrow looks and fires for Joe Mixon. Instead, he finds Quandre Diggs, who says, I can pick you off too. But the Seahawks are forced to punt, and this time, Burrow just throws for Jamar Chase. And Chase is going to take this one 66 yards, give him some good field position. Jamont Jones doesn't like that, as a couple plays later, takes down Joe Burrow in the backfield. But on the very next play, Burrow next with Joe Mixon. This time he actually finds him. 17-yard touchdown makes it 35-21 Cincinnati. The Seahawks were forced to punt with Draymond Jones gets to Joe Burrow for a 4-yard sack. Still in drive for the Seahawks. Smith going to throw to his right for DK Metcalf. This time, he is wide open. No one near him. 61-yard touchdown makes it 35-28. Bengals still ahead by only 7. We're going to try and run forward with this one, but Mario Edwards going to take him down before he can even try to cross the line of scrimmage. Then, to start the fourth quarter, Mario Edwards does it again for a 6-yard sack. A couple plays later, Burrow looks and fires for Joe Mixon. This time he finds Tariq Woolen, who picks him off. But Seattle can't quite get anywhere with it. 4th down. They're going to try and throw it for Lockett again, but it's way out of bounds, so it's a turnover on downs. And that lets Joe Mixon score a 5-yard touchdown run. Fortunately for Cincinnati, Evan McPherson's kick blocked. So it's 41-28 instead of 42-28. DJ Dallas going to try and give Seattle some better field position. He's going to do it by taking the ball 38 yards on the return. Then Smith throws over in the middle for Jackson Smith and Jigba, and he finds him. He has to dive for it, and he is going to almost score, but instead it gets picked up by Dax Hill in the end zone. Burrow would get sacked by Jordan Brooks for a 9-yard sack, but a couple of plays later, Burrow connects with Jamar Chase, and Chase, he is going to put this one away if it wasn't already. A 62-yard touchdown puts the Bengals up by 20. On the ensuing drive for Seattle, they're still playing for pride. They still have some hope. They're going to throw for Tyler Lockett for a 53-yard catch. He's going to take this one deep into Cincinnati territory. A couple plays later, though, Mike Hilton is going to get past that Seattle offensive line, and he's going to get to Geno Smith. I apologize, Smith got past the line. Hilton was waiting for him. But Kenny Walker going to get the handoff. A 7-yard touchdown run. It's 48-35, but it doesn't matter. The Seahawks fall. The Bengals stay perfect. Bengals will go to San Francisco after the Week 7 bye week. Meanwhile, Seattle, they get a possible breather as they take on Arizona next week. Now for an intense and heated rivalry out of the AFC West. Isaiah Pacheco and Richie James return for the Chiefs as they host the Denver Broncos. First quarter, Mahomes going to play action this one. Rolls to his right, throws for Taylor Swift's new boyfriend, Travis Kelce. Kelce, he is going to take this all the way to the 26 before he fumbles it, and it's picked up by Caden Stearns, who recovers the fumble for Denver. And he's going to take this back the other way into Kansas City territory. Breaks about 2 tackles there. However, on the ensuing drive for the Broncos, George Karlaftis gets to Russell Wilson for a 10-yard sack. That means they have to settle for a Will Lutz 51-yard field goal, making it 3-0 Denver. On the ensuing drive, Mahomes in shotgun gets taken down by Alex Singleton for a 10-yard sack. They're forced to punt. On the Broncos' ensuing drive, Wilson play action. That offensive line gets broken down. Trent McDuffie there to sack him, sends him back 10 yards. Then Derek Nunati, 10-yard sack right after. That means they're forced to punt. On the ensuing Broncos drive after the Chiefs have to punt as well. Second quarter, Cortland Sutton's going to take a 29-yard touchdown, makes it 10-0 Denver. Mahomes in shotgun formation on their next drive. He's going to throw for Marquez Valdez-Scantling. MVS is going to take it 43 yards, and he is now injured after they just got back 2 offensive weapons, which means Richie James, who was also injured, now comes out to replace him now that he's better. They drive down the field some more, and Mahomes going to barely get it off in time to Sky Moore. Sky Moore going to take it 15 yards. It's 10-7. Denver still has the lead. On the ensuing kickoff return, Marvin Mims Jr. is going to get hurt on this 11-yard kick return. Brandon Johnson has to come in for wide receiver for him, whereas Samaje Perine comes in for kick and punt returns instead. The Broncos, a couple plays later, Wilson, play action, throws for Jerry Jeudy to the right side. He is deep into Kansas City territory, but that defense is quick, and they catch up to him. That helps to set up Wilson, handing the ball off by tossing it to Javonte Williams. 17-yard touchdown run makes it 17-7 Denver. However, the Chiefs drive down the field on their next drive, and they've got Richie James that Mahomes can throw to, like right now, and he makes an 11-yard touchdown catch, make it 17-14. However, Willie Gay will keep Russell Wilson from being able to make even more points to end the half. Third quarter, Wilson, play action, rolls to his left. He is going to run with the ball himself, and he is going to fumble the ball. It's going to get picked up by Justin Reed, who's going to take it back the other way. A couple plays later, Mahomes, you know this play by now. Play action, roll to the side, throw for your best receiver. It's Kadarius Toney, 30-yard touchdown catch. 21-17, Chiefs have the lead. Samaje Perine, he's going to take this one to the 20 and try to fight for it. Unfortunately, he is not able to secure the ball, but Adam Troutman is able to. Thankfully for Denver, they are able to drive down the field some more. And Wilson going to throw this one for Cortland Sutton to his left. Just waltzes right in after he gets it. 24-21, Broncos have the lead. Ensuing drive for the Chiefs. Mahomes, play action, running out of time. Patrick Surtain there to take him down for an 11-yard sack. Very next play, now it's Jonathan Harris who gets to Mahomes for a 2-yard sack. They have to punt. On the Broncos drive, Wilson's offensive line breaks down. Willie Gay gets them for a 10-yard sack. Fourth quarter, Chiefs get the ball back. Mahomes, play action, rolls to his right. Who's he looking for? Kadarius Toney. 28-yard touchdown catch, 28-24 Kansas City. Ensuing drive, Wilson in shotgun. He's going to try and run forward with it, but Charles Omenihu will not let him. 4-yard sack, they're forced to punt. Then, Mahomes, play action, roll to his right. Throw is for Kadarius Toney yet again. Kadarius Toney! He's going to take this one 50 yards, just barely inside of the end zone. They can't really do much with it. Harrison Butker going to make a 35-yard field goal, 31-24 Chiefs. Samaje Perine on the kickoff return. He is going to take this one. He's going to bring it all the way out and fumble it, but he fumbles it out of bounds just in time. So Wilson, barely over a minute left. Play action, going to roll to his left. Throws for Adam Troutman. He gets the touchdown. We're tied up at 31. Last play of the first half is going to be started by James taking this out to about the 16. Then, hand off to Pacheco. Pacheco going to get stopped. So, second and 11. Pacheco again is going to get handed the ball, and that's going to end the fourth quarter. We go into overtime. Chiefs drive down the field. Harrison Butker kicks the 35-yard field goal. It's good. Chiefs win this one 34-31 in overtime. They go to 4-1, and they take on the Chargers in our Game of the Week next week for Week 7. Denver, they take on Green Bay as they go to 2-3. Russell Wilson, he likes playing Green Bay, though. Our final matchup goes from the AFC West to the NFC North. The Bears hosting the Vikings. First quarter, Justin Fields throws to DJ Moore in the back of the end zone to his right side. They lead 7-0 to start. They do get the ball back after the Vikings punt, but when Fields tries to throw for Chase Claypool, he instead finds Dean Lowry, who picks him off. That leads to Madison punching in from 1 yard out, ties the game up at 7. On the ensuing kickoff, Velus Jones Jr. is just going to bob and weave around the Vikings kicking team, as he's going to take this one into Minnesota territory, 49 yards. However, at the end of the first quarter, Fields going to get wrapped up and taken down by Harrison Smith after running for his life. So that means Cairo Santos has to try and give them points. But he's had problems all year so far. A 57-yard field goal, missed. Vikings get the ball back, drive down the field, give the ball to Alexander Madison, who runs it in from 30 yards out. 14-7, Vikings take the lead. Bears do drive down the field, and Fields tries to run with himself, but he gets taken down, fumbled on the strip sack. Dean Lowry going to pick it up again. That gives them some better position to let Cousins, very next play, throw to Jordan Addison. Addison is going to take this one 54 yards. He's going to take it all the way to the 18, and on the very next play after this, Alexander Madison going to run with it to the right side for an 18-yard touchdown. 21-7, Vikings take the lead. Velus Jones Jr., though, on the ensuing kickoff, going to channel his inner Devin Hester. Going to make some good kick returns. Take this one 30 yards. They do, a couple plays later, get a nice play from Khalil Herbert, who breaks a tackle there and keeps going as he dodges another one. A 52-yard run. It's going to take him deep into Minnesota territory. A couple plays later, all they got to do, give it to Herbert, and it's 21-14 at halftime. Third quarter, Cousins, play action, throws over the middle for Alexander Madison, and Madison, he is going to break a tackle. Dodge 2, 3 tackles. Can he? Could he? Will he? He will! An 81-yard touchdown puts the Vikings up by double the Bears' score. But the Bears do drive down the length of the field. Herbert going to get handed the ball. Khalil Herbert going to run it in from 36 yards out. 28-21. Vikings still have the lead. On the next Vikings possession, Cousins going to throw to his right for TJ Hawkinson. Instead, he finds Jalen Johnson. Bears can't quite do anything with it, so they got to rely on Cairo Santos again. 40-yard field goal, though. Doinks in. Normally, doinks are not something Bears want to hear. 28-24, Vikings still have the lead. Ensuing drive, though, Cousins looks for reigning Offensive Player of the Year, Justin Jefferson. 53-yard catch. Going to give a setup for Cousins to look for Jordan Addison. 13-yard touchdown. Makes it 35-24 Minnesota. Fourth quarter. Alexander Mattison gets the ball again. And this time he's going to fumble it, but it's out of bounds, so it's still good. Very next play, though, Cousins' offensive line not quite able to hold back Yannick Ngakoue and the rest of the defensive line from the Bears. Next play after that, Andrew Billings gets in on the sacking for a 4-yard sack. They punt it. Bears drive down the field, and they go for a field goal. 36-yarder makes it 35-27. They're down by 8, and there's no two-point conversions in Tecmo. So, connection with Justin Jefferson, 50-yarder. There is a Bear in the vicinity, so not quite able to get a touchdown. But with the Alexander Mattison 2-yard touchdown run, Vikings have all but put this away, 42-27. Justin Fields, fourth down. He's going to run with it. He's going to take it 7 yards for the first down. But Brian Asamoah gets to him later with an 8-yard sack. So, 4th and 15. Fields dropping back, looking and firing to his right for DJ Moore. 40-yard touchdown, but it does not matter. The Vikings come away with the 42-34 victory over Chicago. Minnesota and Chicago could not be any different. Vikings are 4-1. They take on San Francisco next week. Chicago 1-4. They take on Las Vegas. Thus ends Week 6 of the Tecmo NFL season for 2023. However, before we go, we'd like to take a look at the current NFL standings around the league, starting, of course, with the AFC East. The Bills currently have possession of first place at 4-1. They are a game ahead of both the Dolphins and Patriots, who are tied at 3-2, and the Jets bring up the rear at 2-3. In the North, the Bengals, the lone undefeated team, still in the NFL. They are at 5-0, and they are a game and a half ahead of the Cleveland Browns at 3-1. Steelers at 2-2 are currently trailing behind both orange teams, and Baltimore bringing up the rear at 1-4. In the AFC South, well, still a very rough conference to try and decide right now. The Titans at 3-2 currently have the lead, but they're only a game ahead of the Houston Texans at 2-3. Jacksonville Jaguars are at 1-3, the current reigning AFC South champions. They're only half a game ahead of the team they lost to, the Indianapolis Colts, who are at 1-4. Now that they are no longer winless, they're hoping they can try to sneak ahead of all three of those teams. In the AFC West, meanwhile, the Chiefs now take the lead at 4-1. They're half a game ahead of the LA Chargers at 3-1. Denver is at 2-3, and the Raiders bring up the rear at 1-4. Now for the NFC. In the East, it's still the Cowboys division to win. They are at 4-1, which puts them ahead of the Philadelphia Eagles by 2 games. They are 2-3. Washington, the Commanders, are at 1-4, but they're still doing better than the New York Giants, the only winless team in the league at 0-5. In the NFC North, it is a 2.5 team battle. The Lions and Vikings both tied at 4-1 for the lead. Packers at 3-1 are half a game behind them. And the Bears all the way back at 1-4. In the NFC in the South, this one was the one people thought was going to be the worst division this year. The Panthers at 4-1 currently have the lead. And they're only a game ahead of the Falcons at 3-2, or a game ahead of the Buccaneers at 2-3, and the Saints at 1-4. And finally, in the NFC West, the 49ers currently have a half-game lead over the Seahawks. The 49ers at 3-2, Seattle at 2-2. The Rams, half a game behind Seattle, they're at 2-3. And right behind all of them, one game behind the Rams anyway, are the Arizona Cardinals at 1-4. And that's going to do it for our show for this evening. A reminder that this Thursday will be our Game of the Week between the LA Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs, and come back next Monday for Week 7's Tecmo Rewind. For all of us here at SVGN, the Sports Video Game Network, I'm Joe saying good night, everybody.